Hello, family. I just pulled the Passion reading during my Lord's Supper as I was contemplating the intense suffering so many of you are going through, and even among the intercessors. I know this was a heads up of another trial coming, and I too felt a little bit wobbly. I heard these words, "Remember what you're suffering for, my beloved, remember." I then continued my Lord's Supper. Just as I was about to do my prayers, I could feel strongly Jesus wanted to speak to me. I decided to begin writing instead. Jesus began, "Remember what you're suffering for, my beloved brides. I'm truly in my passion, as I am in the Garden of Gethsemane, pleading with the Father to take this cup, not just for me, but chosen souls who will have to be sacrificed, who will have to be tortured, and who will have to die. Satan relishes in this time and in this season more than any besides Christmas. Where in Christmas he and his servants take all that is holy and use to glorify me and turn it into a demonic time of avarice, parties, nightlife, and drunken festivals. There's so much at stake, my beloved brides, so many souls whose life hangs in the balance. I didn't give you the book. He set the captives free for you to read without reason." And as an aside, family, Jesus is referring to the book by M.D. Rebecca Brown. You can get it on Amazon. Such a powerful book on deliverance, as she shared her true life experience delivering a high-ranking witch and a bride of Satan, and the woman also shares her story in the book, as she shared what happens on Halloween during the Black Mass. One particular time, they were having their ritual. They took a hitchhiker off the street and had a cross on the stage. They nailed his hands and feet and put a nail in the wood. As he screamed and screamed for someone to help, they all just watched, jeered, laughed, and heckled, until Satan showed up in a form of a man, and then put a nail through his head, with the cross upside down, as a cup of his blood was passed around to all who wanted to drink to receive more powers. However, the young witch at that time wouldn't partake of it and never drank the blood of the sacrificed souls, but watched many being sacrificed. When I read it, I can envision that poor hitchhiker, him struggling with his captor, as he's being dragged to the stage and pulled mercilessly until he was met with his untimely death. Such horror, so sad, Lord, what happens on this day?" Jesus continued, "Now you know the ins and outs of the servants of Satan during this time. They already have the chosen souls they will sacrifice, in prison, put away for their Black Mass. They also have the many children who will be abused and misused and killed, prepped in dungeons, others in cages, many in cargoes and dark lighted rooms awaiting their death. Some know, and many others do not. Do you understand? Not only do I have to witness this, but I hear their cries. I feel their pain and longing for comfort and love. I can feel the real terror of their hearts, as they have no idea what is ahead, but a strong feeling of foreboding death. No one to comfort them. No one to hold them and tell them eternity is right around the corner. Their heavenly home and family awaits them, and that they be taken immediately with a procession of celebration, welcoming them home, wiping away all their tears and all the trauma they have been through, and all the enemy used to torment their minds. No, they sit alone, listening to insects and animals eating the walls of where they're staying, with just their thoughts and the enemy's constant taunts, and precious aching hearts, wishing they could have listened to their parents more, wishing their parents knew where they were, wishing someone would come see them, find them, help them, and save them before it's all over. And all they get is silent and constant bantering, insults, curses hurled at them, sexual abuses and beatings, until this awful moment they call All Hallows Eve. Until the Black Mass, when their blood will run, where mine was meant to be given as atonement to set all men free from such wickedness. But Satan has deceived many, and so they serve, kill, and live for him instead. My beloved brides, all that you're suffering and will suffer is for these moments. There are 1 million of them all over the world at different times, but the death of a precious innocent one is constant. For Satan knows how to hurt the Father the most. Although it's a joy to receive them back to his bosom, the pain he suffers when they suffer, the pain that I suffer when one of my own suffers, is tremendous. I suffer for these depraved lost ones who have been yoked to such slavery of wickedness. They were once my innocent precious ones too. However, their actions call forth my judgment upon their lives, and to know that I will lose them for eternity rips my heart open over and over again. To lose just one, my beloved brides, is hard for you to fathom. I cannot bear it at times, and that is why I ask you to suffer for me. So allow me to put into perspective. Imagine longing for a child in the depths of your desire. Every day thinking of the name, thinking of what they would look like, their personality, all that you would desire that they would accomplish as a parent. Then you conceive all your prayers, your hope, your joy in this moment of fulfillment, as you again recognize the reality of this precious soul being entrusted to you. You daydream constantly of the moment you give birth and the joy there will be to you. You give birth, watch them grow. You dote over their little hands and feet, their coos, just adoring them, from walking to talking, being inquisitive with their young minds, then adolescence as they explore their world, then to adulthood, completely unconscious of my loving presence and gaze, hearing about me, but yet rejecting my advances of my love, because of the hard life they have. And as a parent, praying for them faithfully, travailing, interceding for them through various walks of their life, when I knew a test was coming, or hard traumatic experience was headed their way. Praying they wouldn't lose their way to me, praying for much grace and mercy, praying continuously for them like a loving, concerned parent would, just to have them still reject me and my love. And to lose this child, that was the first thought of the greatest love I had in my mind. Before bringing them into being, now gone forever. Never to touch them, hug them, speak to them, and worse, watch them grow into all that I created and purposed them to be. A destiny and life that was meant to be eternal with me forever, forever separated from me. The pain is imaginable and beyond human comprehension. You will not fully understand until you get to heaven the immense pain and burden I underwent because of how much I loved you, how much I love one soul, and I'll do it all over again 1,000,000 times just to win a soul back. So when I ask you to share in my suffering, my beloved brides, it brings me tremendous consolation and joy when you say yes, and you carry your cross. And I can sense Jesus tearing up, crying as he said, because it gives hope. Hope that one soul will respond to the grace, turn from the ways of sin and come back home to love, to me, where they belong, and will be safe for all eternity. Just one is worth it all. So please, for me, my brides, carry this cross for me, for the many souls, the many brothers and sisters you are bringing back home to me. And that was the end of Jesus' message. Family, every Halloween, we are called to intercession prayer. I encourage each of you to please find a YouTube channel and do an hour of silent adoration before the Holy Eucharist at midnight on Halloween, and accompany the Lord to Gethsemane. Just be by his side and quiet as he prays earnestly for these souls. Then the next hour, join him in prayer and intercession, travailing like never before, pleading for mercy, and if possible for intervention, if it's the Father's will, for all that goes on during this dark time. God bless you, family, to the next message.